He's so full of himself.
He's ridiculous.
Let me tell you what he come out and said this week. He said, it's not the right time for elections in Ukraine.
Well, how convenient, seeing as that you're sitting in the office.
Exactly. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a Monday address that it's, quote, not the right time for elections in Ukraine as the end of his 5-year term approaches. Zelensky added in the Monday video address that Ukraine should not have to deal with elections as it continues to attempt to fend off Russia, which invaded Ukraine in February of 2022. He previously had not ruled out Ukraine holding a presidential contest. Thank you for that super chat, Kevin.
Oh, my goodness.
Kevin, you're blowing our mind tonight.
We love it.
And he goes, in a presidential contest through the elections are currently suspended in the country under martial law. And finally, the waves of any political division, things must stop. We must realize now's the time of defense. Now's the time of the battle, blah, 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 blah. It's just nanny. What was that? Kramer, not Kramer, but what's his name on Seinfeld used to go, I'm having a brain freeze here. Not wham, but okay, whatever. No, it's like when you're just talking and you're just saying stuff.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. Okay.
George.
But he goes on he basically starts crying. He goes, look, I can't not go through election and I need more money. I mean, that's basically what he said. We can't have an election and I need more money.
Well, last year,
yeah,
he went ahead and told Biden, we appreciate it, but we'll be back. We'll be needing more.
Yeah. And you hear what he told Trump this week? While Trump's standing trial in New York City. Oh, and by the way, did you hear Trump? They said they won't allow cameras in. They said Trump went off today. He put him on the stand. They said he looked at the judge and said, "You are ridiculous." He goes,
I missed that.
Yeah, thank you for that super sticker, DRW.
Nice. Thanks, DRW.
He goes, I deserve a jury trial. I want a jury. He said he looked at the DA and said, all you're doing is trying to run for governor, just trying to get political. He said, this is ridiculous. And they said as he's walking out of the courtroom, he was still yelling. Yeah. And he said the judge told his lawyer, you need to do something with your client.
Do something with your client. Well.
Wow.
I mean.
Yeah, I'd like, can you imagine trying to do something with Donald Trump?
Oh, wow.
But what I'm saying is while all that's going on, he puts a post out and says, Zelensky says, come to Ukraine. You said you could finish this war in 24 hours, but you can't manage this war, but I invite you to come.
Come on.
Let's see what happens. All right, speaking of Russia,
yes.
Russia is testing and has tested.
Yeah, more nuclear submarine talk right
exactly.
here.
Bulava intercontinental ballistic missile from new strategic nuclear submarine.
How about that? Russia's defense ministry announced Sunday it has successfully tested an intercontinental ballistic missile from its new nuclear submarine, the Imperator Alexander III. What an interesting name for a submarine. According to the Federation of American Scientists, the missile just tested can carry up to 6 nuclear warheads. Firing a ballistic missile is the final element of state tests, after which a decision will be made to accept the cruiser into the Navy. The recent missile testing comes amidst Russia's continuing invasion of Ukraine and Russia-U.S. relations at their worst since the Cold War. Relations are at zero, or I would say below zero. And I'm telling you, we always heard about the Cold War when we was in school. It's a hot war now. I believe we're actively involved in war with Russia and Ukraine. I really do. And I've shared with you that I've listened to more than one person talk about the technology in Russia is at least 20 years ahead of us that we cannot catch up with.
That's mind-boggling even here, but that's true. That's what I've heard too.
Cannot catch up with them at this point.
How did they have a supersonic missile and we don't?
Because we went to sleep.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
We got lazy.
We went woke.
We got lazy. We just stopped, putting importance on staying ahead, being out and being in the forefront, and they have surpassed us according to reports. So.
Yep. According to reports, think about, we keep going back to that China video. I'm about to do an update on it, but you need to, if you haven't watched it, and even if you watched it, you need to go back and watch it again, because there's so much stuff in that video that we're seeing happen now. It's called We Will Be at War with China by 2024. Look forward to my videos. Maybe I'll even link it down below. Help me remember to link that down below. Make it easy to go watch it.
Let's do that.
But one of the things we talked about is this confidential informant told me that China already has missile bases in Cuba already. And I believe it was they've got it locked in on the top 50 targets, of which we found out, shocking to know, that we had 2 of them in our state, in Alabama. But when I immediately thought of that when I saw this article, Xi Jinping meets with his, quote, good comrades from Cuba to heighten strategic ties. Cuban Prime Minister Manuel Mariano met with genocidal dictator Xi Jinping in Beijing. Look at all these people that's coming to Beijing. Vladimir Putin went to Beijing. Rocket Man went to Russia. I mean, the whole world's going to Russia and China, not on digital. They're going and sitting down with them in closed rooms. Something is being planned, Sandy. Why would you need to leave Cuba in the midst of all this going around the world and sit down? But watch this. To expand cooperation between the 2 communist dictatorships to a, quote, higher level. Yeah. A top Cuban Politburo official with the ruling Communist Party met with Xi as part of a week-long tour of China, expected to culminate on November 9th. His first official visit to the Asian nation since he took office in December 2019. His international tour will see him depart for Belarus, which is Russian, later in the week, where he will stay till November 12th. The Cuban Prime Minister's Chinese tour occurs nearly 1 year after the Castro's regime figurehead Miguel Diaz-Canel met with Xi in late 2022 on a similar visit. China is both Cuba's largest trading partner and one of the ailing communist regime's crucial financial lifelines that ensures its continued existence. But here's what I want to point out. More than anything, it is 70 miles from the continental U.S.
Exactly. So going all the way back to the early 60s, Russia had set up missile launchers.
Yep.
Now, they had to be dismantled.
Yep.
Supposedly. But that was a scary day. Yeah, scary time.
The famous Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right. Yep.
And we're probably, as notorious as that time was, documentaries, movies, all this been made about, we're probably in a more dangerous situation now.
I was just sitting here thinking that. You would think.
I mean, China, think about it. Cuba, in the middle of all of this, goes to China, sits down with the main man in China, and then he don't go to Russia, but he goes to Belarus, which there are many Russian officials there and war officials there, and going to meet there, and then go back to Cuba. So yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, 70 miles right off our coast.
Yep. Thank you for watching this clip from The Big Picture. If you'd like to watch the full show, click here. If you'd like to watch more content just like this, breaking news and more, click here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking here. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for hitting that like button. And we'll see you next time on The Big Picture.